Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back once again to Blame Your Brother. That's right, we are back once again, usually on Thursday nights. Special week, obviously, Christmas Eve and Christmas are this week. So we are streaming the show live on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm one half of this duo. I am David, aka D Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40%, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget, the reverse Yoko Ono, and I sit next to this gentleman, my friend John.
Hey everybody, John here, aka Tico, aka Chris, Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, the Madman.
That's right. All right. So we're here. We're going to do a show. We got a good list. The best non-Christmas Christmas movies since there was quite the talk about our Christmas list and how people, had their little bits about. Anyway, we'll get to it. We'll get to the movies that were talked about, but we're going to do that. I'm sure we've got other things to talk about as well. But John, we're going to bring back something we haven't done in a while. It's time for apologies, retractions, omissions. A chance for you and me to undo anything we did wrong. Is there anything that stands out from last week's episode? Is there any movies you were like, maybe I should have went with this versus that?
I wanted to reiterate. I got some flack for choosing Mickey's Christmas Carol
Yeah.
versus other versions, and I did some contemplating, and I stand firm in my decision because
Okay.
without Mickey's Christmas Carol, we would not have ever received DuckTales. And I absolutely that was my jam growing up.
Really?
When I loved that cartoon when I was a kid, and so I stand firm.
All right, so no apologies from John. There we go. I look back. I think it was pretty solid. I don't know. We got anything too controversial. No one let me know. So we do. We like at the top of the show. We like to check out our emails and kind of read any listeners. And we got two emails this week, which was pretty cool. So the first one, we have a fan that listens to the show. I'm sure John is very familiar with this young man. He's been listening for a long time. His name is Michael. Okay, and
vaguely familiar.
we always seem to hear from Michael. So this is the email I got. More, and the subject line is more Michael, please. All right, in 2021, can you bring back Michael Nicholas II, the memory of the week guy? He is now Queen of Crowns pageantry honor king. I'm sorry, he's gonna hear. He is now Queen of Crowns pageantry honorary king. Can you bring him on the show and ask him about it? He wants to meet Miss America. Can we use the power of the podcast to help make dreams come true? This is from the individual simply known as Robert Jones, Mr. Robert Jones. So,
well,
John?
I mean, last time we had Michael on, he expressed that he didn't. He felt that he was under performing. I mean, he felt bad about being on the show.
That's true.
So I mean, a lot of that would have to do with Michael himself.
Okay.
But I mean, as far as Miss America is concerned, I'd love to meet her too. I think you're giving this podcast a lot more power than it really has.
Yeah.
But, thank you for that.
There you go. Yeah, who knows? Okay, so we got that one. Then we got, so is there any chance? So you're basically saying, from what I understand, the ball is in Michael's court at this point. If he thinks he can come back on and actually deliver a good performance on the show, as you said, his words, not ours. He didn't do very good last time. He could come back on the program.
I think that'd be a possibility.
Well, Michael, or Robert Jones, or whatever AKs.
You need to reach out to Michael, Robert. All right?
Yeah, you need to reach out to Michael. Yes, Mr. Jones, Mr. Nicholas, whatever names you go by. All right, our second email comes to us now. This is we don't in the podcasting game. You don't always get a lot of emails, but sometimes you do. This is from Miss Martinez. Hello, I wanted to write you today in hopes that you can help me surprise my boyfriend, Devon. I think that's how you spell it. D''VONYE. Devon? He's been working so hard on his new app, Nightfly, spelled Nitefly, and just recently released it. I was hoping you could help me surprise him by either mentioning his game on your podcast or maybe even interviewing him about it. I just want to show him some love because I know how hard he's worked on his game. He listens to your podcast all of the time, so I also know how much it would mean to him to hear something positive from your show. So that is from Miss Martinez, from Mr. Devon. For saying that wrong, I'm sorry. You can write us and let us know. And he has an app called Nightfly, and I checked it out. It has 5.0 ratings, 16 ratings, not bad. It just dropped. It's kind of like a shooter plane type game. It looks pretty interesting. So what I'll do for him, and like I said, this is an email. It didn't come from the website. It came from an actual email. I will download it this week. I will check it out, and I will report next time we record if it's good or not. And it looks good. So go check out Nightfly. It's on Apple Store for sure. That's where I'm looking at it up. I'm pretty sure it's on Google Play. Nitefly, Nightfly.
And I mean, due to the obvious reasons, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on this week and next week. But I'm sure if there's a chance, we might be able to do a review of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know that. So yes. So thank you so much for the emails, though. We always appreciate that. So there we go. Well, John, tomorrow is an important day for you, my friend.
Yes.
What is tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the day I turn 43.
That's right. If you don't know, if it's first time listening, John has a unfortunate birthday on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
And I've noticed a lot of my friends this week. Trapper Haskins has a birthday this week. Ashley from Rock Candy Podcast has a birthday. A few people we follow on the socials all have birthdays in this week. So John, tell us, how much fun is it to have a birthday on Christmas Eve?
It's not very fun at all. My least favorite word in the English language is slash. Because people say, here's your Christmas / birthday present. And here's the deal. Throughout the year, everybody remembers when my birthday is.
Yeah, that is a positive.
Everybody remembers. It's June, when's John's birthday? Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
That's great. But during the month of December, for some reason, that thought escapes everyone. And
Yikes.
There's so much, I mean, you only got so much money coming in.
Yeah.
And everybody's spending, and this is like a lifetime thing. Now, as an adult, I don't care. If I want something, I'll go buy it.
Right.
So it's not an issue now. But growing up, I mean, there's only X amount of dollars people have. So when after everything's expended on Christmas, there's not much left for John.
That's true.
So I always end up getting the short end of the stick. One year, my mom got me a TV, and kind of a poor family, so it was my Christmas / birthday present. And she was planning on getting my little sister and also another TV. But she ended up getting the exact same TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. So what is the greatest gift, if you can look back just the top of your head, that you've ever received for birthday / Christmas present? Is there anything that jumps in your mind? I mean, a lot of us my age and your age.
One thing that jumps to the top of my mind, and the present company is involved. And it's not that it was like the best present ever, but due to the things that you had available to you, I think you and Lee went on together to get me some high-tech combat boots.
Wow, I don't remember that, but you're welcome.
And so it was I think it was the year I turned 17.
You're gonna have to put some more details into this story because it sounds like we're part of a freaking Proud Boys club or something. Like,
when we were in high school, we were members of Police Explorers. I think we briefly talked about it before.
Yeah, right.
It's a branch of the Boy Scouts of America, and they have different Explorer programs. But this one, obviously, if you can put two and two together, it's a program that introduces police the way they do things to young men who may be interested in joining police force later in life.
Okay.
And so
well, good save there.
It was almost a requirement to have the boots.
Right.
And so I mean, and I couldn't really afford them myself. And Lee and David both kind of, I think they pooled their money and they got it for me as a Christmas / birthday present. At the time, they ran right around 100, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. But for teenagers, that's a lot of money. And so
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
for what you had available to you versus what the present was and the need for it, I would probably say that would be up there.
Are you ever amazed at the number of things in your life you just have forgotten about? Like, I don't even remember this at all. Like, no memory of it. Like, zero. Like, there's things you tell me all the time. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, are you at that point, or is that just me?
I have moments too, and then there's especially members of my family will the exact opposite will happen. They will add details to things
Yeah,
that clearly did not happen,
well, that's true. That happens.
and so I'm like, really? That's how you remember that? But yeah, I think it's just part of the aging process, and I mean, memories can be funny like that, especially like thinking about like exes and stuff like that. There, some relationships will seem a lot greater in hindsight,
Yeah,
and the opposite is true. Some seem like even more of a dumpster fire than it was when it was actually happening. So
yeah, no, that's true.
the memory, the mind has a way of distorting things after it happens. Sometimes almost immediately.
Yeah, it kind of scares me occasionally how much of, I mean, especially when you think of like your childhood and you start to kind of, I mean, obviously big time memories you're never going to forget. There's certain things I'll never forget, and a lot of them are not. I mean, there's great ones, but a lot of the negative ones are the ones I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to forget that happened. And so it kind of sucks like teenage years where some cool stuff was happening. I'm just like, I don't remember like a lot of that, and I don't know. I trace it back. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. Like now, I still listen to quite a number. I used to listen to like podcasts all day, every way. And there was like a podcast about psychology, and it was basically a guy would have people on. He was a comedian. It was I can't remember the name of it. It was really good though. And he would have other comedians and personalities come on, and they would discuss like, I've got anxiety, I'm this, I'm that, I've got depression. But and they would get like it was an hour and a half deep dive into this, and a guy came on named Chris Gore. I remember who the guest was, and he was like a radio guy, does radio hosting and things like that. And he said after his son was born, and it was kind of like a traumatic, it was like a crazy situation. His birth was like wild, and they didn't. Anyway, he said that he talked to a psychologist, and they said after that happens to a lot of dads, they start their memory is affected after that. There's something in that moment, their brain kind of rewires itself. I don't know if that's like I guess if you on a primal level, I guess for survival, in case the kid doesn't live, you got to keep moving on. Back in like caveman days or whatever. But my first son was crazy.
It's oddly enough because Jake's birth was actually very similar to my own.
Okay, yeah,
Um, was born feet first,
okay,
and the umbilical cord was wrapped around
yeah,
my neck.
yeah. So his was a C-section. So I mean, who knows? If how he been, but yeah, but his umbilical cord wrapped around his throat. The blood pressure went like cliff dive down, and it happened in like 11 minutes from leaving the waiting room to him being born, and I was just in those moments where people are like, that people say there's no atheist in foxholes. Well, it's true. I mean, in any desperate moment, you're praying to God, whether you haven't talked to him in years, you don't even believe in him. You're like, well, hey, let's throw this Hail Mary out, and maybe he's out there. And ever since then, man, my brain has just processed things different. I used to be able to walk into a room. I could size everyone up in the room. I could tell you everything about them. I never had to write things down. I could tell you every schedule. Like I had a month of schedules. I could tell you every date. And after that, I forget things all the time. I'll walk out of my house and go, yeah, I do need the car keys. So let me go back and get those real quick. So
Yeah, I do that a lot now too.
so much I forgot to record the first 10 minutes of this episode. So I'm gonna have to go back and grab that. So that's fun. But yeah, it's crazy how the mind works. It's really fascinating stuff. So anyway, well, happy early birthday. As people are listening to this, it's obviously your birthday, so they can reach out to you on social media, wish them a happy birthday. And 43. Any thoughts on that number? Or
I mean, it's not like a milestone or anything. I can't think of anything to fantastic to go with it.
it's not even a good number.
Yeah,
It's like a really ugly, like at least 42. You have the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
yeah.
what is the secret to the universe? 42. You're like, all right, 42. Yeah. And then 43, you're just like, all right, well, I guess I'm getting closer to 50. So, well,
I mean, I think it might be a prime number, but I mean,
yeah.
if you're into those things.
If you're a math nerd, let us know. I believe you're probably right. That is a prime number. Okay, well, anything happened to you this week since we've last talked? Anything notable or just same old?
I did get one early Christmas present.
Okay.
It's a pizza oven.
Nice.
I am really anxious to use it.
Wait, what? How big is this?
It's not real big. The actual oven part that you use is only 12 inches wide.
What do you do? You put it in the oven, or is it?
It's a
standalone
oven.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I'm pretty anxious to use that.
So you haven't used it yet?
No.
Huh. Well, that's pretty cool present.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I guess I didn't think they sold things like that, especially that size. So, I mean, have you read reviews on it? Have you looked up any information on it at this point?
I looked up like different things that you can cook besides pizza.
Yeah.
And so, I think like this year for Christmas we're kind of gonna do like finger foods and stuff instead of doing like a whole turkey and everything.
Yeah.
And so I thought that I could probably put it to use.
Okay.
For that.
Well, that's not bad. So, and Robin in the chat, his wife says he definitely made room for it. So there you go. Well, I mean, next time, one of the times I come over, hopefully a pizza will be just waiting on a Thursday night. Hopefully, we'll see. I'd like to sample it out and I'll give an honest review. Maybe you make one, and then we'll film a YouTube, and I will honestly rate and review your pizza. That should be that's an upcoming 2021 feature on the show. Look at that. Well, that's good. I had some bad news. I was out running errands on Monday. The kids are off school, so we had to do some last minute Christmas shopping for my wife. They had to get her something. So we went to Target, and as we're driving back, I stop at a stoplight, and as I try to go through, I just hear this. I was like, oh, that's not good. Did I run over something? And my car will not go. And I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So this is like middle of the day. I had to call a tow truck. I had to call my father-in-law. He came pick me up, and it sucks. So I'm like, great, it's transmission, and I have a 2007 Toyota Corolla, so it's not like it's not fresh off the lot. It's it's as old as my son. Is what I say. I got it when my son was first born, and I was like, oh my god, dude, this is gonna run like $3,000 something. It's not really worth it for this old car. We just got a van. Now we're gonna freaking 2 car notes. Luckily, it was only a broken axle. And I say luckily, it still costs like $400, but that was a great alternative to a
$3,000 price tag
or a new car note. So I'm still hanging on to it. But that was you just get used to a very reliable car, and then when it's not functioning as it is, you kind of remember the stress that cars can bring. Like I think we forget this. Cars have gotten a lot better since we were teenagers, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Like when we were teenagers, cars, 5 years was like, that was a long time. You're like, all right, man, made it. I paid off my car in 5 years. Now it's time to get another one. Now cars have gotten better. There's less of that stress. Like it was always like, oh, am I going to make it? And just kind of feeling that over again.
I definitely feel you on that. I think in a 10-year span, I went through 11 cars.
Wow.
And so
your first car was the greatest. It's an all-time. It's an all-time moment.
Well, like first, or because the first, I don't even really count.
What is the first?
The one that was sitting outside of your house for a minute.
Oh, which one was that? What was
it? The Mustang that I had for like a month.
Yeah, no, that's the first one.
Okay.
That's where so John gets licensed, right? And he decides he's going to take me. Now, I know nothing about cars. I'm going to just put that out there. I know how to change a tire. I know where the oil is. I can replace the oil. Could I change the oil if my life depended on it? Yeah, but I wouldn't want to. I can do like standard maintenance. I've changed spark plug. Stupid, silly stuff. The big stuff, the maintenance, if it works, I don't know much. But we're both young and stupid. So we go to this We Tote the Note place, which if you don't know what that is, you're not going through a bank to finance. They're financing you because you don't have money for a bank to finance you. Okay, that's where me and John were teenagers. Most teenagers, if your parents aren't going to help you, that's where you're at, So we go up to this car lot. This is the all-time story. So we go up there, and John sees a white, right?
Yeah.
White Ford Mustang. And you're thinking, oh, Ford Mustang. No, not the Ford Mustang you're picturing. This was like a hatchback Ford Mustang, which I mean was still dope at the time,
Yeah.
but it was not a cool Mustang. I don't want people to think you had like a muscle car or anything. This was no, it wasn't a muscle car. So the guy that sells us the car is wearing an eye patch, and I mean,
Not a cool eye patch. I mean, okay, he was an older guy, had like the nerdiest glasses I've ever seen in my life, but he had like a white bandage
yeah,
on his left eye underneath the glasses, to where it was so like the glasses barely fit on his face because of this
it,
patch job.
and he was old. This man
He
was
was not young at all.
he was ancient. Okay, so we go up there, and this guy's he's slick talking us. You know, we're stupid. We think we're getting one on him. No, he's getting one on us. So we got the car. I don't remember how much it was, like 1,500 or
It
something.
was just a little bit over 2,000.
Oh, see, I remember all this stupid stuff. I can't remember the part that I remember this stupid car story. So we get the car back to my house, which is probably less. I mean, 2 minutes away from where I lived at the time, and it stops working. I mean, he sold you a limit. The thing was not going to run, and we did not know if we were like auto mechanic dudes, and that was like a chance for us to be like, yeah, man, we're going to fix this thing up. I mean, that'd have been a cool story. No, we knew nothing of that. We were dorks. I mean, we just
I
call it
think
what it was.
your dad dubbed it the oil burner.
Yes, the oil bar. Yes, that's what you want to hear. So we call him back. We're like, dude, you sold us a lemon. You got to take this car back. He's like, no, it's not going to happen. So this is the beginning of Glenn Jackson, the nickname. Before it was Glenn Jackson, I have a reputation for playing characters. Not call people. John is notorious for prank calls. I'm notorious for they're not even prank calls. They're just enjoyment for me. Like they're just stupid. So I'll explain the Glenn Jackson, aka. I was doing these Fiverr gigs on the internet. I was getting paid $5, and I would read these scripts they sent me. And one was for a guy named Glenn Jackson who was selling this obviously phony affiliate marketing scheme to get rich. Yeah, I mean, I really probably shouldn't have done it, but I wanted the money. And this was a long script, and it was garbage. Well, flashback to the car. I decide I'm going to call up this guy as Phil Williams, investigative reporter for News 4. Okay, now I'm 17, 18. I don't know how old we were. Probably 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to sound like, if you know who Phil Williams is, he's a big time investigative reporter. I mean, this guy's the real deal. If he calls you, run because you're in trouble. He doesn't do feel good pieces. He does. You're going to jail for the rest of your life stories. So I call this guy up. And I go, I don't even know the voice. I did probably say, this is Phil Williams, and I heard you sold a bad car. Blah blah blah. I went through this whole, and I just hung up on the guy. We waited about, I don't know, probably 15, 20 minutes, and we called the guy back. We go, I think I was, I don't, in my mind, I remember calling the guy, and I go, all right, man, this is your last chance. Now, we called the news, and they said they're going to be up there and interview you. Are you going to take that car back? Took it back, baby. So that was quite a save, because that would have been back then, $1,500. Even now, it's like, holy crap, dude, that's like.
I mean, that was basically a semester of college.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot of dough. So that's the Ford Mustang story. So yeah, that was a good one. So luckily, cars have gotten better, and as we've gotten better, we don't have to go to tote the note places. And if you do, I mean, I'm sure people have had good experiences. I have not. It's not the first car I bought off of one of those lots, and the other one I purchased actually caught on fire one night as I was heading home. So that was fun. People, not full flames, but basically the engine I think dropped out, and the oil that was dripping caught fire. I don't. What do you do in that situation? I'm like 20 something years old.
Stop, drop, and roll.
I mean, I left it there, and I think somehow I got it out. Crazy story. So anyway, whatever. All right, so Christmas Eve is here. Last week we did our best Christmas movie list. I mean, once again, you go down the list, everyone was happy with it.
I do want to mention something. We get a lot of flack about these lists, not just this one, but ones that we've done in the past.
Yeah.
The potato chips, the candy, we always get flack.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize is we only have like a week to prepare. if
Yeah.
that.
Right. Yes.
Because sometimes we'll, text each other like a couple days before.
So, sometimes it's right before the show
Yeah.
starts. Truthfully, I mean, if you want the truth.
And so there's that. Another thing is we don't know every single thing that's out there.
No, of course not.
And so, just because it's your favorite doesn't mean it's the greatest.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I think the greatest movie ever made is probably
Oh boy.
Shawshank Redemption.
Really? Okay.
But it is not anywhere near my favorite. Now, if
Okay.
it comes on, I'll watch it, but it's not. It's pretty far down the list as far as my favorites go.
What's your favorite?
Oh gosh, I
mean,
probably couldn't name it off the top
what's
of my
some
head.
off the top of your head that would be a contrast to the Shawshank? I mean, just
a movie that I really, really, really like.
Sure, yeah.
It's kind of cheesy. Stardust.
Okay.
I like Stardust a lot.
That explains a lot. So yes, we understand the difference between, and I've always said this about the list. You got to understand the difference between favorites and I don't even want to call it Mount Rushmore anymore because I think people get confused about Mount Rushmore. This isn't like we can't have the same thing on our list.
Yeah, that's another thing is we also have to use strategy.
Yes.
As to what the other person's going to put.
Right. So people don't understand that either, which kind of if I want to pick A and John picks A, then I have to pick B, and that may mess my whole list up. Okay. Yeah. But we understand the difference between this is how I do it. I'm trying to list the actual best ones. Occasionally do your favorites play into that? Of course they do. But for the most part, I'm trying to list the best ones, okay? So we decided after last week that we got a lot of, I wouldn't say flack, but we got some nonsense from people about the list, okay?
Also, by the way, I went to, I hit the internet after our show last week.
Okay.
And
you hit it. That's good.
I hit it.
Okay.
And I looked up other, lists done by, people who should know a little bit more what they're doing than we do. And all of ours were on their list.
Okay. I think of
all the Mount Rushmores we've done so far, I think last one was probably the most on par last week's.
I think all mine are great. But anyway, yes, I think we're pop culture connoisseurs. I do. And but that's just me to my horn. So this week we did best Christmas movies. This week we're doing best non-Christmas movies.
That isn't Die Hard.
Okay, that aren't Die Hard. We can do that. Okay, because everyone says Die Hard, and that's point of contention. And another podcast hit us up and said it is, and blah blah blah. We're not gonna. We've already given our take on that. Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. It is a non-Christmas movie. It is a movie that takes place during Christmas, but is not a Christmas movie. All right. So you went first last week, so that means I get to go first this week. Now, obviously, like you said, Die Hard would be the number one for both of us.
Yeah.
But we can't do that one. So I'm going to go with one that a lot of people like to throw out there. They like to say it's a Christmas movie. Look jolly. I'm sorry. Gremlins is my number one choice for best non-Christmas movies. Is the movie take place during Christmas? Yes. Obviously, the little dude is a Christmas present to the boy or whatever. But there is no Christmas spirit in the movie. This movie could be set anytime, any place. There's nothing redeeming about anyone in the movie.
The guy's birthday could have been in January.
Right.
Same movie.
Same movie. Nothing changes. I did see something funny today. People said Gremlins is pretty much the story of the coronavirus, is that it was a gift from China. We were given specific instructions on how to not let it spread, and we ignored all of them. So that was pretty good. So my first choice is Gremlins, number one. All right, John.
Well played. Just as we prefaced before we started the list, there are our favorites, and there are the ones that we think are actually better movies. And so for my first choice, I'm struggling with that.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna go with what I think is the better movie.
Okay.
And I think the best non-Christmas movie that is not Die Hard is Catch Me If You Can.
Ah, that's a good one. So tell me about Catch Me If You Can. If people
Catch
don't know.
Me If You Can is about a con artist. His father was a con artist, and he just admired him. Kind of put him on a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And
his father played by Christopher Walken.
Father's Christopher Walken, one of the greats.
Main character, the greatest Leonardo
DiCaprio.
And he's the best actor working today.
If not, I don't know. He's up. He definitely top five.
Okay, people might say Daniel Day-Lewis, but I don't even know if he's acting anymore. But
I
anyway,
mean, also shared a stage with
yeah,
Leo.
that's true. Okay, so anyways,
Um,
Frank Abernathy,
Frank Abernathy Jr.
yes, Junior.
Anyway, he goes about conning things, and his thing was checks,
Yeah,
finding different ways to forge checks, and the Carl, I can't remember his last name, but Tom Hanks plays an FBI agent
yeah,
who kind of catches on. He can't find him at first because he thinks he's looking for an adult. I mean, he's 16, 17 at the time.
yeah.
So he's got like no record, and just he's like eluding him at every turn. And then he eventually puts it together. He starts catching on his trail, and it's a time piece. So it hops around from year to year, but it keeps coming. They keep meeting up, whether it be via phone or in person around Christmas time.
Yeah, because he always calls him on Christmas
Yeah,
and says Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, FBI agent guy.
yeah.
Yeah, what a phenomenal movie.
It's a
Now,
great movie.
I gotta say this: Amy Adams is in this movie, and that is the most attractive I think she's ever been.
I'd
And
agree.
there's something about Amy Adams. I love her. I think she is one of the greatest actors. I don't want to say that anymore. That's with it. She's one of the greatest actors working today. She's in the top 10 without a doubt. Um, God,
I think she should be in a lot more.
yes, but there's just something about her that, like, she was in Hillbilly Elegy lately. There's something about her that's kind of got that kind of southern kind of, I don't want to say white trash, but kind of redneck vibe to her. Even in The Fighter, she
In The
played like a,
Fighter, it was a northern redneck,
yes,
but yeah.
right. So I don't know, but she is phenomenal. But yes, okay, good pick. Because I thought you were going to go with my number two. Now this movie may be one of the better ones we named. I don't consider this a Christmas movie. It's Christmas in the movie, of course. Does it center around Christmas? Yes. I think you can make a few changes. I think Love Actually would be great if it was a Valentine's movie. What's different? You tell me one difference with if it's a Valentine's movie. Nothing.
Well, there's a few things,
Like
but
what? Go ahead.
I mean the story arc about the old washed out singer.
He could be writing a Valentine like a love hit, a love ballad.
But I mean, the key thing is that it's a cover, but they changed it
Yeah,
into a Christmas
you
movie.
could okay.
And I mean, throughout the whole thing is like X days till Christmas, X days till Christmas.
Well, it could be X days till Valentine's Day.
Nobody's counting down Valentine's Day.
Women are.
Um,
Tell me, tell me I'm wrong. We've already talked about this. Tell me I'm wrong. Holiday for women.
There's a Christmas pageant in the movie.
Yeah. But I just don't. To me, it's just a movie set in Christmas. There's no Christmas themes in the movie. I don't believe. I believe it's more of just a slice
There's
of
a
human
Christmas
life.
party in it.
Yeah, but it's just a slice of human life movie. It's about people. It's about relationships. And I don't know that Christmas plays into any of their big decisions.
Well, I mean, in the Alan Rickman thing, if it wasn't for Christmas, a lot of his issues would have been moot.
Cheating husband's always going to be a cheating husband.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't really cheat on her. He just bought this lady.
That's, John, that's cheating, 100%. Like, if you go buy a gift for another woman that's not your wife, that's cheating, man. I mean, especially if you're hiding it like he was. That's the key. He was hiding it.
Yeah, but if it wasn't around Christmas time, it would have been.
Yeah, he might not have got called. But I'm going Love
I
Actually.
don't think he'd have done anything.
I'm going Love Actually, number 2, my Christmas movie.
I'm just saying, Love Actually is nowhere near my list.
Okay.
Because.
All right.
I think it's Christmas.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah, that's on a lot of lists. I forget it's set in Christmas. I guess because it's in California.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of them.
Right. So, but it is. What are there any themes in it that make it relevant to Christmas? Is there anything that stands out?
Really.
Just going over to their house for dinner.
Yeah, that's about it. I mean, there's a few Christmas decorations here and there, but.
Now, what do you think about Melly Gibson?
Back then, I thought it was amazing.
Today, the actor.
The actor.
I mean, are you? I'll watch anything he's in because I think he's great. Look, once again, we talked about last week. I'm not gonna discard his entire film list because he said something offensive about Jewish people. Now, I don't condone that, and I think it's terrible. But I think we're in this culture where everyone knows that you've got to allow people to make mistakes and try to change. Now if he went on news media after this, I've seen him on media lately too because he's in Fat Santa. Fat Santa, Fat Man. He's in the Fat Man movie, which is a Christmas movie because he plays Santa Claus. But he's doing press still. Obviously, if he came out after he said those things to the police officer about disparaging Jewish people, and he was like, "Oh, I hate the Jews. No, they're terrible." Then I would say, "Okay, wait a minute, brother." But I think you look back at the time, things were different. I know, you're going to use that for every excuse, but I mean, words are a little bit different than going. Did he go out and participate in the Holocaust? Is he a member of the Aryan Nation? When people are drunk and they're going through issues, I think they say a lot of things that maybe are in their peripheral that maybe they don't even believe. But I'm still love. And Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon, that Mad Max, he cemented. I mean, he's an icon. Yeah. So I still love him. Okay. All right, there you go. So that one, okay, I'm gonna go with a superhero movie then, and you know what it's gonna be. It's what when I was a kid. Ooh, I don't know. I got two superhero movies. Let me change this up. I was gonna go with one, but I think the better movie is Iron Man 3. And I know Iron Man 3 gets a bunch of crap. People say it's not a good movie. I think it's a great movie.
I think it's a pretty good movie.
I think people were upset with the Mandarin kind of plot twist. Okay. But I think the movie in itself is a great story of redemption. It is set during Christmas. He meets a young man who helps him kind of rediscover. I think it's more of a rediscovering of a hero's tale than a Christmas story. Is it set in Christmas? Yes. It's snowing outside. It's very relevant to the movie. But once again, I mean, could have set this in any point at any time, and it's still. I think it's a good movie. I think Iron Man 2 is worse than Iron Man 3. I think Iron Man 2 is trash.
I'd agree with you.
I don't even remember Iron Man 2 much. I'm like, yeah, there's some dudes fighting and a bunch of, I don't know. So Iron Man 3 is my number 3. So you taking that other superhero spot?
Actually, no.
Okay.
I am going to go. Wait,
Oh, no, we don't know. See, we were confident.
Okay. Trading Places.
Trading Places. That's a good one. I did not have that on my list, but that's a solid place. Obviously, the heyday of Eddie Murphy
and Dan Aykroyd. I mean, two comedic geniuses.
Oh yeah, at least one.
Oh, I'd say they both pretty.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Dan Aykroyd as a comic. I think he's made some good movies, but I don't.
I mean, if you say as a comic, I would agree with you.
Okay.
But comedically on screen, I think he's up there.
Okay. All right. So Trading Places is basically
Dan Aykroyd's character is one of those, uptight, white collar, got one of those names with the third at the end of it. And,
rich white guy.
Yeah. And Eddie Murphy is, basically kind of like a con artist, living on the street, blah, blah, blah. And as the movie suggests, they switch places and hijinks ensue.
Yes, very good comedy. It's a great 80s staple, and Eddie Murphy back then could do no wrong, man. He was fantastic. And then, boy, the 90s and those string of bad movies, yeah. Pluto Nash.
A couple of bad decisions on the street, too.
Oh, yeah, Norbit, was that one of them? The Nutty Professor, wow.
I mean, people will excuse him for the Nutty Professor.
Ooh, have you watched that, bro?
I have, but I mean...
Now, remember...
Norbert and Bowfinger is way worse.
Look at us. We grew up, Eddie Murphy, Saturday Night Live.
Oh, and the comparison, yes, I agree with
Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah. And then you watch Nutty Professor. Bro, it's almost akin to Robert De Niro, who's actually funny, though. Like, when he did, Meet the Fockers, it's kind of lame as those movies were. He was funny. And come on, Meet the Fockers, man. It's not a good movie, man. He's done some suspect choices, but I don't know, he's older. But Eddie Murphy, the crazy thing, he's still done some great movies along the way. I mean, Dreamgirls, I don't know if he was nominated, or if he was either going to be nominated or was nominated for supporting actor. So he's still capable of great things. So, okay, I'm down to my last choice. Let's see what we got. I got, God bless John. See, I had other ones I'm going to catch, but I got to get Batman Returns, man. That's my final one. Batman Returns, man.
I'll definitely give it to you. I mean, you understand why I went with Trading Places.
Oh, yeah, it's a better movie.
Yeah.
Batman Returns, obviously, was the second Batman feature by Tim Burton. Features the Penguin, Catwoman, Batman. Is it a good movie? Not really. I mean, truthfully. But I'm one of those few. Batman '89, I don't think is really a great movie. I think it was good at the time. I don't think we look at it now. I don't think it's that great. I think the action scenes were a little bit ridiculous. I've never really liked Jack Nicholson's Joker at all. I didn't really like the way he performed it. But at the time, for us being the ages we were, that movie was great at the time.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one of those movies. Thought it was great when I was a kid. I watched it later and went, eh. Tim Burton, he either does really knocks it out of the park or it's terrible. And obviously he didn't come back for any more Batman movies because I think he was done with the franchise after this. And then the franchise after this, oh man,
it got uber ridiculous.
Took a dive for the worst. But Batman Returns is set during Christmas. And the Penguin, Danny DeVito is great as a Penguin. And here's the thing. Keaton's great as Batman. Danny DeVito's great as a Penguin. Michelle Pfeiffer, great as Catwoman.
Yeah.
But something was just not all the. It's like a great recipe. You go down there, you don't cook it right, it don't come out good. I feel that's it. But it is a movie that all you people, you can watch it during Christmas and then check off your alleged Christmas movie list. So there we go. Batman Returns. All right, John, your last one here.
Last one.
Have I grabbed any of yours?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Batman Returns is going to be my fourth one.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, well, Gremlins, obviously.
So you should have put Trading Places down at 4. I never would have grabbed it. I guess you don't know that.
I don't know that.
That's how the game works, man. Strategy.
I got to go with my roots.
Yeah.
Rocky 4.
Rocky 4, man. Whew. I forgot that was set in Christmas. That was not on my list. Rocky 4. When a lot of people feel this is when the franchise, as I said earlier, took a dive. And in boxing, that's a good. Now, look, is it a good movie? Do you think Rocky 4 is a good movie, John?
Here's the thing. I'm a very patriotic person.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, it pulls on those strings. And it latches on. I mean, I'm one of those people that if there's certain elements, if you could just stick it in any movie, it makes the movie better.
Okay.
Music.
Yes, okay.
Sports.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to say, but patriotism, man. You throw patriotism in a movie, and I get sucked in. I'm one of those people.
So you think it's a good movie?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Rocky 1, obviously, good movie. Nominated, won awards.
I mean, Rocky 1 was great because he didn't win.
Right. Spoiler alert. Rocky 2. Rocky 2, great. Follows up. I mean, Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 is kind of like Beatles, Rubber Soul to Revolver. It's kind of like Beastie Boys, Check Your Head, Deal Communication. It could pretty much be one movie if movies were longer. Yeah. Okay. Rocky 3 is when you're like, oh boy, this.
I think it got a little cartoony.
Oh, you don't think Rocky 4 is cartoony? The freaking montages, dude. Like, dude, why are you?
Could it be a Rocky movie without a montage?
Why are you working out in Siberia, dude? I mean, I get it looks cool, but it is dumb and it is not effective. There's no way that's effective.
The reason why he's working out in Siberia,
I get it, man.
Is because the match had to be over there.
Stupid. But I gotta say this, much like Con Air. Much like The Rock, it is an enjoyable, not good movie to me. And when we do that list one day, we can do it. Rocky 4 be on the list. You're right, a lot of montages, but and it does set up Creed 2, which I'll give it that. So there is that. And Creed, as someone said, Jeffrey in the chat said, Creed is fantastic, and Creed 2 is pretty good. But Creed 1 is, that's a good movie. So. All right, so here are our best non-Christmas movies. I had Gremlins, Love Actually, Iron Man 3, Batman Returns. John had Catch Me If You Can, Lethal Weapon, Trading Places, and Rocky 4. What else was on your list, John?
I had
make the list.
The Ref.
Okay, yep.
Dennis Leary.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good Tim Burton movie. I had Mean Girls.
Ooh.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is a really good Val Kilmer, Downey, Robert Downey.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that.
That kind of launched his comeback. So the guy, Shane Black, that directed Iron Man 3 and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and
also
Lethal
did
Weapon,
Iron Man 3.
and wrote Lethal Weapon, I believe, all Christmas.
Yeah, he does doing that.
He loves
Yeah.
those Christmas, so we could probably just put his Eyes Wide Shut, the last Stanley Kubrick movie, takes place during Christmas. So those were some of mine that did not make the list, but there we go. That's our list there. So
And it's a shame it takes place during Thanksgiving because I really, really, really.
uh-oh.
It's a Thanksgiving movie, not a Christmas movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay. See, here's the thing. That is the greatest Thanksgiving movie, but there aren't many other good Thanksgiving movies,
Yeah.
which is odd.
That's why I really wanted to like include it, but I couldn't.
If you watch the end of that movie and you don't tear up a little bit or get at least emotional,
great movie.
Oh, it's so good. That's John Candy and Steve Martin. They'll never be better. Like you may love John Candy and Uncle Buck, or you may love them in even in
Who's Harry Crumb?
yes, all those. Even Home Alone, he still almost steals the movie. You know. And the fun fact about Home Alone is he improv'd all of that.
I can believe it. He's genius.
He shot it in 23-hour shoot. That was he said, "Man, you got me for one day, and then I got to go." He did all that. So go next time you watch Home Alone, which is a Christmas movie. Watch his performance, and you'll just be like, even the polka where he's naming all the polka hits. It's so good. So anyway,
just off the cuff, he's a genius.
Yeah. So there you go. That's our list. I'm sure we will get some feedback about it. But there you go. Let us know what we missed. Hit us up on social media or wherever you see the post at, and let us know. So yeah, Christmas is almost here. I mean, it's just a different year this year. It just seems like, I mean, it's crazy that Christmas is here in 2 days. It doesn't even seem like it's Christmas. And I know it's because, everything's different this year. But what do you have any thoughts on that? Just like,
I mean, it's like, have you had to go shopping in person?
I said the other day, but very rarely.
I took Asher shopping so he could, do his Christmas shopping for everybody.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I just felt like invisible bugs were crawling all over me with all the people that were in this space.
Where was this? Walmart. Yeah, if I knew it.
And it just felt my nephew he wants to take me out tomorrow for my birthday.
And
I know he's going to go to he's going to want to go to a mall, and I'm like
So are you going to do it?
Yeah, probably, okay. But
I mean, hey, here's what I say. I don't work at Walmart. I'm not a Walmart employee, but I do get my groceries from Walmart at the pickup option where they put it in your car. I generally see the same employees every week, so they must be doing something right for the employees. And it may be the first time Walmart's ever done something right for their employees. But whatever they're doing on that front, I know they cheat them out of health care and they don't pay them well, but somehow they're taking care of them. At least on
that's because they don't want to pay the other employees overtime.
That's true. It's bad news, but yeah, I don't know. I would just tell people, just remember the spirit of Christmas this year. Probably more so than any year in recent history. Like this is a year really to reflect on your family, small family that will be in your house. Hopefully, you're not having 20 people over at your house, but take a moment to reflect on the blessings you have. I know 2020 was, a lot of people say not really a good year. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people have died, obviously, in America. It's been a weird time. Businesses have failed, all that. But you can still, even in discomfort and misery, you can find time to reflect on what you still have. And I think it's brought families together. I mean, I'm sure it's brought some families up, but I mean, it's really made people kind of examine what's important to them. I hope it has me. And it's allowed people to, it's the crazy thing. It's almost like fixed part of the planet where, all the cars not being on the road, it's helping. And there's wildlife being seen in areas where they were never seen before because people aren't around. So, obviously you want to reflect on the bad situation and hope that the next year we move forward to a better one. But just take this time to really reflect, or if you're celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever, if you don't even celebrate Christmas but you caught something else, this is a good time of year. I think this is why we both like Christmas. It's a time to really reflect on who's in your life and how important it is. So that's just something to say. But I will say this: if you're looking for some movies to watch, and if you haven't watched any of the non-Christmas movies, have you watched anything lately, John, that you would say, hey, go out, check this movie out, check this TV show out?
I mean, as we've discussed before the show, I've been watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
I mean, you can't watch it with your kids in the room. But
Yeah.
if you were a fan of Seinfeld, if Seinfeld was like a 6, just dial it all the way up.
Oh, to 11.
Yeah, it's just every character is George instead of.
Larry David is just the GOAT, man. I see. I mean, Lee used to say like I'm quasi Larry David. I wish I was full Larry David. I wish I had.
He has no filter when it comes to brain mouth.
I mean, maybe I'll.
If he thinks it, he just starts saying it. Especially if he has a complaint.
Maybe I'll get that way when I get older. I don't know. I'm starting to think maybe. I mean, maybe if you get a certain age, it's like I don't care anymore, you know. And but a lot of times the crazy thing with him, he's not. He's just doing it. He lives in a world where he's right about everything, even when he knows he's wrong. He's still right. I love that trait. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know. I think being a friend of Larry David and Curb would be emotionally draining for sure. It would be entertaining.
I mean I mean, I don't know. I could talk about it for a long time.
Yeah, we could talk
like,
about it for days.
But yeah, it would be it'd be work, and at least that's the least you can say.
But you know who the best character on Curb is? Who's your favorite character on the entire? I mean, you could say Larry David. I think there's somebody that's just a little bit better than Larry David, man.
Leon.
JV Smoove is the best character every time.
Every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, "Call Larry, call Larry."
There's not a scene he's ever been in where I wasn't like laughing hysterically. That's who I want. I want to be that dude. I want to be Leon. Like, doesn't have a job, obviously. I don't know what the guy does.
He's just hanging out at Larry.
Just hanging out at Larry's guest house. Just getting chicks over, eating Larry's food, wearing Larry's clothes, just doing whatever he wants to do. And Larry's just like, yeah, man, I'm good with it. I'm going to keep going with it.
I think he just doesn't know how to kick him out.
Yeah. So, or maybe he doesn't want to. I mean, there's some entertainment value to him. So, yes, if you've never watched Curb, definitely go check that out. I want to tell you today that I love Carrie Coon, the actress.
We've talked about her before. I've only seen her in The Leftovers.
Yes.
She was. I want there to be another word for phenomenal.
Yeah, I do too.
Because she is like. It's like she wasn't acting. Like this is just her.
Right, and which seems to be all of her movies. So she was also in Fargo season 3. So if Fargo, the television series, is so good. So you should go check it out. You can start in any order too. They're not serialized, but they are connected. So, but you can watch. So I watched season 3 first just for her, and I loved it. And they're all great. She was been in. So recently, she was in a movie called The Nest, which is her and Jude Law. It's out now on streaming services. Really good look at family dynamics. Jude Law's great in it. The movie I watched, and I got this as a DVD. I won this from some podcast. And it's called Izzy Gets the F Across Town. And F's like X'd out in some versions. Some it's not. This is a story about Mackenzie Davis. I don't know if you know who that is, but she's an actress. She was in the new Terminator movie. She was in Halt Catching Fire. She's a blonde-haired chick. Yeah. Love her. I mean, I love her. I love Carrie Coon. They're both in this movie. Mackenzie Davis plays this down on her luck singer-songwriter who had some phenomenal success on the indie level. She played South by Southwest. You see in the movie. It never shows it, but she talks about it. And Carrie Coon plays her sister. And they were a band together. And something has happened where they're not on speaking terms anymore. And it kind of delves into it. And it's a story.
Anyway,
yes, you could say that. Maybe that's why I connected with it. So Izzy is trying to get to a certain situation. I'm not going to tell you what, but in the way she runs into Carrie Coon. So they were in a band together, and in this scene they end up playing a song together. I can't get the song out of my head. It's a cover of a band called Betsy to Heavens, which no one's ever heard of. This song is called Axeman. This is one of the. I'm not even making this up. This is Carrie Coon and Mackenzie Davis singing this song. It's one of the best songs. I can't get it out of my head. And Carrie Coon is so good. She's only in the movie for probably 10 minutes at the most, but she is blazing in this movie. So I tweeted this out because I watched this last night, and I was just like, I couldn't stop thinking. I couldn't even go to sleep. I was like, this movie was so good. So I tweeted out this morning, Carrie Coon's awesome, dude. Da-da-da-da-da. I look, notification. Carrie Coon, like that tweet, baby. I was like, oh my God, dude. I know, like, oh, no, that was really, I was like, oh, wow. And not, I didn't expect her to ever respond to me, but the fact that my favorite actor, let's see, because we're not supposed to call them actresses, my favorite actor, at least top three, saw something I tweeted about them and liked it. It made my day, man. I thought that was fantastic. So Izzy Gets the F Across Town. Go find it. It's for free on YouTube, so you can watch it for free. If you like independent movies, I love independent movies. Indie movies are like my jam. I mean, yeah, blockbuster movies, they're great. We all love them. But independent movies, I could watch those all day. Because, I mean, it's shot on a budget. The director has to be creative. He's, you know, doing different shots, different techniques. This movie's fantastic. It's really good. And Mackenzie Davis is great. Carrie Coon's great. So I'm going to start watching more because I got to catch up. There's some things I haven't seen. Some of them I read the description and I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it. But I'm going to catch up on her just catalog because I think she's it, man. She's so good. So yes, definitely. If you got HBO Max has Curb, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so go get HBO Max because you're going to want to watch Wonder Woman in 2 days. You're going to be watching that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, day of. So next week we're both going to watch it. We'll come back and talk about it next episode. Okay, so we'll give you a review of Wonder Woman 1984 the next time we get together. But until then, go watch Curb, and you can go to YouTube. Watch Izzy Gets the F Across Town. I'll try to put some notes in the show links where you can grab those. Those are things you can watch. So there we go. Well, we're almost up to the end of the show, John. Happy early birthday.
Thank you, sir.
43. I think we did a good list. I think everyone needs to enjoy Christmas this year with your family. Hopefully you enjoy hanging out, eating food, opening presents, and hopefully, you know, it's great. I mean, we got one more before the end of the next year, so I don't know what we're going to do next week. I mean, probably need to look back at the entire year, maybe do a best of 2020, maybe talk about some. I mean, there's got to be. I mean, even to talk about the Tiger King and all that stuff will be fun to do. So,
Yeah.
But anyways, before you do that, listen to the podcast, tell all your friends about it, share it. On the YouTube, go subscribe to our YouTube page, turn the bell on where you won't miss any future episodes. I had McRib. I did a short review on it. I basically put my life into risk for our friends, our listeners. I did it for you guys. Did I like it? You have to watch and find out. I don't know. And I did eat that McRib. That's not stunt anything. I actually ate it, and I'm here, so somehow I survived. But subscribe to the YouTube page where you can watch the show live, hit the bell, turn it on, go to the website, read all of our movie reviews. I'm probably going to be writing a movie review this week at some point. And, you know, you can grab merchandise. I'm wearing this shirt, which through green screen magic, it's got Nicolas Cage's head on it. His head's not on the shirt. It's just green. But we got shirts, face masks, leggings, all that. We've got ways to find us. Email us. If you want Michael Anthony on the show, let us know. Drop us at that email.
Robert, you need to reach out to Michael Anthony.
Yeah, do it. So I guess Merry Christmas, everybody. And John, with all that being said,
don't blame yourself when you can blame your